Hi, welcome back to my podcast. And this podcast is I chatting with the ChatGPT around the three AI topics.
Love it. Three quick stories, right? Let's do it. Which one do you want to kick off with today? Interesting one. It basically shifts from finding a suspect to generating suspects from patterns. That's a big deal. The privacy risk isn't just surveillance, it's being swept into an investigation before there's even suspicion. Still, some will argue it could save a ton of investigative time, so it's really a privacy versus speed trade off.
So this the Frogs is a AI startup because which can train the vehicle data into to train their model, then the OS investigation to help the cops to find the specific suspect, right?
Right, exactly. Flock isn't really an AI model trainer. It's building an AI powered investigation platform on top of huge amounts of vehicle data. It analyzes patterns and then helps police generate leads faster. So, yes, you're right that the aim is to surface suspects more quickly.
So if the technology can prove the effectiveness after some criminal event happen.
Right. Yes, absolutely. That's the main selling point. Instead of days of manual searching, the AI can highlight patterns in minutes. But, and it's a big but, it just produces leads, not proof. The actual evidence part still has to come from somewhere else.
So do you think about this topic mainly to let us to talking is the pattern training depends on a lot of the people privacy when they are driver the car. So do you think about it is a lawyer operation?
Well, yeah, I think that's the conversation it's trying to spark, really. It's not just a legal issue. It's a should we allow this issue? How much access is okay? What safeguards are there? How long is data kept? Who oversees it? Those are the real policy questions. Different regions will draw the line differently.
Yes. So do you think about the mainly topic we can gather from this topic is
I think the key takeaway is this. AI isn't just about models, it's about data plus use cases. And every powerful use case forces society to set boundaries. If you need a one liner, maybe try the future of AI isn't just smarter tech, it's how we decide to live with it.
because we see after we check information about a driver can see is the address or something. So I think the data whether is
Mm,
illegal was a question.
right. Yeah, I think that's exactly the concern. It's not just is collecting data legal, it's is connecting all of it and querying it this way legal or appropriate. And that's why this story is getting so much attention. It's both an AI issue and a legal safeguards issue. Right. Sure. So the next topic, Google is adding a conversational control to Discover. Instead of tapping more like this, you can just tell it in plain language what you want to see. It's meant to make the feed feel more transparent, but open questions remain, like how long those preferences stick or how easy it is to reset them. The big question is, can natural language make algorithms feel more predictable?
I think about Google. They are originally have a math algorithm for this the recommendation feeder, right? But after in AI becoming more affected by people, so I think Google just want to let the user conversation with the AI history can be a reference for the recommendation algorithm.
Right. Yeah, I think you're on the right track. Essentially, Google already had implicit signals, clicks, dwell time, follows, and so on. Now it's layering in explicit signals. You literally telling it what you want. So for your podcast, you might frame it as before the algorithm guessed, now we're letting users speak. And maybe the bigger trend is AI shifting from guessing preferences to asking for them. And that could feel more transparent and give people more control if it's done well.
So, do you think about the Google Gemini model behind the ChatGPT and the Cloud and have the lag gap with the Grok? What are the main reasons to close the situation?
Good question. I think there are a few reasons, and it's not necessarily about Gemini being weaker. Google plays a different game. They're embedding AI across search, Android workspace, not just a chat app. So perception versus focus matters. GPT and Claude feel like the product. Gemini feels like a feature in a bigger ecosystem. Also, Google tends to be more cautious in some areas. That affects user experience. But honestly, the gap is smaller than people think, and the battleground is shifting from model bragging rights to ecosystem leverage. In short, not who's smartest, but who shows up everywhere.
So, we can see Google's still revenue is from the advertising and the research business, right?
Yeah, exactly. Search ads are still the core engine, so everything they do with Gemini has to coexist with search, not blow it up. So they're threading a tricky needle, AI that enhances search without cannibalizing it. That's a very different challenge from OpenAI's. For your show, you could say Google's AI strategy isn't just about building the best model, it's also about protecting and evolving its biggest business.
Because Google have a lot of the mature business model. So Gemini is mainly target the application environment was their shelf the business.
Yeah, that's a fair way to see it. Google isn't betting on a single AI product. It's using AI to reinforce all the products it already has. Search, workspace, Android, cloud, that's a different strategy. So it doesn't need to win a chatbot popularity contest to succeed. If Gemini makes its existing ecosystem stickier and more useful, that's a win for them. So, yeah, it's less about one chat interface winning, more about AI becoming the intelligence layer across everything they own.
Okay, we move to the next topic.
Right. All right. Third topic. In two 6-day trials, Claude Opus agents reviewed literature, ran hundreds of experiments, and assembled papers, but human reviewers rejected both. Weak data, premature abandonment of promising directions, and narrowing claims instead of fixing methods. The key distinction, automating the process of research versus producing true scientific originality. So the question for your listeners is AI already a solid research assistant, even if it's not an independent scientist? What's your instinct?
I think no matter what is the model, is the basic logic was to construct the data from training, not to build the brand new thing. So if we expect the AI to develop the frontier period, is things not the possible in the base.
Right. I think that's a reasonable take. You're basically saying today's models learn from past data, so expecting truly new frontiers might be unrealistic. That's fair. They are fantastic at remixing and accelerating within known frames. But scientific breakthroughs often come from recombining existing ideas in novel ways. And AI might get increasingly good there. Still, for now, the safer framing is assistant, not originator. That fits what we've seen in those experiments. Strong process support, weaker big leap judgment.
So how do you think about this? The scientists use the AI in the daily research.
I think it's already changing the day to day in very practical ways, like summarizing piles of papers, brainstorming experimental designs, whipping up analysis code, and polishing writing, that kind of stuff. But crucially, the scientist is still steering, deciding what's plausible, what's worth pursuing, what's ethical. So it's a lot like how developers use coding assistants. Let the AI do the heavy lifting, but keep judgment in human hands. A good way to put it might be think of AI as a research co-pilot. It frees time and widens the search space, but the pilot still flies the plane.
Yes. I agree your opinions. So recently we can see AI can apply in the medical development, get some heroes in the career.
Yeah, absolutely. Medicine is probably one of the areas where AI can make the biggest long-term impact. Speeding up drug discovery, helping design clinical trials, reading medical images as a second set of eyes, and even helping tailor treatment to individual patients. But even there, speed doesn't remove the need for validation. New drugs still need lab work, animal studies where appropriate, and careful human trials. So the big contribution is acceleration, not replacement. For your closing, perhaps you could land on something like AI won't replace researchers, but it can make every researcher more productive. And in medicine, that could mean better treatments sooner.
Okay, thank you for joining today's podcast.